We are back. Thank you so much, Monica, for that sound effect. I'm here with Monica LaPlante. We just heard a great four-song set from her and her crew. First things first, can you introduce yourself, your instruments, and then your bandmates and their instruments, please?
Yeah. So my name is Monica LaPlante, and I'm playing the guitar. And then we've got Christy Costello tonight, who has a show on at Palmer's. I'm saying backwards things. Christy plays the bass, and we all play in her band as well. And then on guitar is Orion Trion, and he's also playing the synthesizer and the shakers and whatever extra things. And then we've got Austin Cecil over here, dressed like the Hamburglar, and he plays the drums. And we all play in each other's bands, so I'm sure you'll be seeing us around in various forms.
Totally. And I want to talk about that a little bit later on, but first, I want to talk about you and your group. This is your third visit to Radio K.
Yeah.
That's so cool. We love that. So we love that you love us so much that you came back a third time. But last time we saw you was in 2019. So how have things been since then for you as an artist?
Oh, nothing has changed. Everything was totally normal between 2019 and now. Nothing happened.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of free time, and I was able to, explore a lot more recording on my own and synthesizers and, just getting that like ample free creative time has been huge.
Totally. Yeah.
For me.
Awesome. Well, you talk about that in one of your songs. The last one you played, Compression.
Yeah.
That one came from the Quarantine EP, correct? I want to talk about that. In that song, you kind of talk about the isolation and just overall bad times of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Can you describe to me your experience as a creative artist throughout the pandemic and how you kind of got through it?
I mean, it was really tough in the sense that, like, we all really thrive on playing live shows and being a part of like a music community and seeing people all the time. And it's weird to try to find different ways to like get that feedback while still being safe and responsible. Compression definitely came from, I think I had gotten off the phone with my boss and I had been fired. And I was like, cool. I got all this time now.
All the best stories start with someone getting fired, I think.
First I got fired, and then I was like, oh, cool, I have time for this. And then I was like, oh no, how am I gonna manage all of this?
Right.
And Compression just ended up being like it's almost stream of consciousness, like me figuring out my life for the next either like 2 weeks to whenever.
Totally. So how did you keep up with music things? Did you guys get together still for practice? Did you do any virtual performances? Those kinds of things?
We did a couple virtual performances. I would say it was really refreshing to have like a conversation with everybody. And, we all knew the first priority was to be safe and to not get sick and not to get other people sick. But we all just wanted to work hard to find a way to make music, and how can we keep doing that? And I'm really lucky and really fortunate to have, people like that in my circle that also want to find creative ways to do that. So we ended up playing on a roof. We ended up playing on a van.
Was the van moving?
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that. So that's true. It's a true story.
That is a true story. We played around a moving van around Northeast.
Can you describe that a little bit? How did that work out? Where were you?
Our friend Stuart Devon, he's got a band called Savage Oral Hotbed. He already had a van for like parades and things that he's just kind of hooked up. And then I believe Christy kind of reached out to him, and we were all just trying to make a way of being like, how can we like stream this? How can we do something? Yeah. And like he was totally down for it, and it brought so much joy to so many people that were like running out in the streets and like chasing us. And we hit a tree at one point, and we stalled right in front of the Butter Boys house. They came out on the roof and yelled at us, and that was really fun. And just it was seeing people from a distance very quickly, very briefly, and just it was like being in a parade.
Totally. That's so cool. Were you playing in like the bed of a truck, or like how
We
was
played on top of like it was like a big old van.
Was that scary? Or did you almost fall off? Or
Well, there were railings built on either side of them. Yeah, I kind of forgot to mention the height part to Orion, who was not thrilled about that. None of us could get our sea legs enough to play over the bridge. That was pretty, yeah, the Plymouth Bridge was a little nauseating, so we took a break there. But yeah, it's a big old beefy van.
Yeah.
I don't know car names.
I don't know. That's okay.
But yeah, there's railings on either side of it, and we're all kind of propped up in a way that we weren't like falling. It is kind of like getting your sea legs, get your van legs.
Right. I feel like not many people have that experience, so that's awesome. I want to go back to compression a little bit. There's a music video for it, correct?
Yeah.
I watched it. I loved it. Tell me how you kind of conveyed the message of the song through the visuals in that music video. Was that a conscious process there?
I think it was, so Orion's sister, Arika Rowe, actually did it.
Okay, cool.
So it was really fun to like be able to like, she was just totally on the same page, just like doing like different color schemes, and she wanted it to be like, just get a bunch of red household items, which everything I have is black and white with a red pop. So that was super easy, and she kind of slowly made it, go off the rails, kind of like the song does by the end of it.
Totally. Yeah. I love the visuals in that, like the black and white.
Yeah, she's so talented. And
yeah, really great stuff. So the other 3 songs that you played, those are all new, correct?
yeah,
All new.
brand new. Well, they're new. Some of those are like very old songs that I've kind of dug out. Stick and Poke Tattoo was written maybe like 8 years ago, 8 or 9. And
Tell me about Stick and Poke Tattoo. I feel like there's a story behind that.
well, that was not the one. I was looking for the Scream one. My roommate got really into doing stick and pokes at the time.
Cool.
And so at one point we just had a party and just like invited a bunch of people over, and we're just like, hey, we could totally just like draw things and you could just like trace over it with like a needle and some India ink, right? And I still have it. It's a little Miyazaki Totoro guy. And it's not faded. But I probably wrote that song like 8 or 9 years ago and was just digging around in what we call like the junk drawer of old songs that I've written. And I was like, let's bring that one back. It's it's got a little B-52s vibe to it.
Definitely. So are you assembling these new songs into a new project by chance, or is it just existing on its own?
Yeah, we're slowly assembling all of our records this year, and it's been kind of like it doesn't look like we're doing much visually on the outside, but it's like we're all slowly gathering like, oh, what's going to be on the album? What's not going to be on the album? And sometimes it's just playing it out and seeing what goes well, and then making that decision a little bit later and just getting as much songs as possible. But we've got the Extraterrestrials record coming out this year. And then we've got Christy Costello's record coming out.
Yeah. So these are the other bands.
Oh, yeah.
Great. I'm curious about this. So you guys play in each other's bands, so you must enjoy each other's creative company. What makes you kind of a good fit for each other, would you say?
I think kind of like saying earlier, like, despite there being a pandemic, like we all love music and we really want to play music. Yeah. And everyone is really passionate and driven and talented in their own rights. And just being excited for like your friends and helping them assemble, their vision, because they help assemble your vision. And we all just end up kind of dressing like each other anyway. Every once in a while, I'll come out with an outfit and just be like, that's kind of a Christy outfit.
You were talking about the scarves today, the bandanas that would fit.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we had a whole run of us all just wearing bandanas all the time.
That's great.
Now, I don't know what our new theme is. Well, to TBA 2023,
Cool.
what the next one is.
Thank you, studio
I really
audience.
didn't know what that one was going to do.
So how did you guys all meet then? It seems like you've known each other for a little while now. So
Austin and I have always played, like Austin's always been in the band, and he went to McNally Smith with me, and we've just known each other through, I think you were doing session work at the Pearl recording studio at the time, and I was helping do I think I was a business intern at the Pearl at the time, or I was just bumbling around and doing stuff. So that's probably where I met Austin. And Christy, I've been a fan of Christy for many years, but I think we officially met working together. Christy was my manager at the Red Stag many years ago. And
Brody was the station manager.
oh yeah, and Brody, who was the station manager here, was also our coworker. And we would always end up working Sunday nights together. And sometimes it was good, and sometimes we worked a really, really bad shift together one time, and it builds camaraderie. And yeah.
what was the moment that you asked her and them to join your band?
We had been cycling through bass players, just, getting anybody that like we like to do it, but knowing that like it's a time consuming job and everybody's very busy. We've always had like people kind of filling in for a couple months at a time. And then we played a show, I think, with Christy, and it was like kind of at the end of our last bass player just being like, I got a lot of stuff to do. I can't do this anymore. And we're just like, oh, what about Christy? And then Christy started singing backup vocals. And now Christy is definitely like, invaluable? There's a better word than that, but what she brings to the band it just fills everything out.
Totally.
And as far as Orion goes, we've been trying to figure this out. I don't know how I met Orion. I really don't know, and we've really tried. But at some point, we just started being in the same room at the same time.
Yeah. It's as if he was always there.
Yeah, I think just running into each other at shows enough. Mm-hmm. And then he was in the band Rupert Angel Eyes, and that kind of everything moved to LA there. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to scoop that guy up. Yeah. And now he's here.
Cool. Great. Well, it seems like you have a pretty good feel for the Minneapolis scene. Tell me about some other artists that really inspire you within this community, Minneapolis music scene, Twin Cities, abroad.
Yeah. Other bands that I really like besides my own bands. I think the running joke is every time I always want to play a show with Controversial New Skinny Pill, and they're one of my favorite local bands right now.
Awesome.
And there's just so much going on there.
Can you describe it for me a little bit? I don't
There's like a lot of clip clops and a lot of like bing bongs and a lot of like this sound and this. Okay. That's a fair. That.
Oh, I can hear it. Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
What else? What other bands do you guys like? That's like the one that I always want to see. I like Crush Scene a lot. They're super fun and just like, I love Maddie, the singer's just like lyrics, and she's always fun to see live. She's in that band Mad Mojo Jet too, which is super energetic and super wild. And oh man, what else?
So many.
There's so many. River Sinclair. Oh yeah, we're gonna play a show with them in a bit too. Christy's playing Punk Rock Bowling, April 3rd.
They're coming in about a month.
Hey!
So tune into that. That'll be great.
They're so sweet.
Yeah.
I like those guys.
They seem really great. All right. Well, last thing I want to talk to you about is your upcoming tour,
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. Tell me about your stops and how you're kind of preparing for this tour.
We're all working out every day and doing a lot of push-ups. We're going on a little Midwestern tour leg with our friends System Exclusive. They're based out of Pasadena and they're on Castle Face Records. And they are just like a cool, fun synth duo that's more like, what's this? No, that's not it. Ignore that. I really thought I had that there. They're like a fun, like synth pop duo. And we played a show with them a couple months ago and we all just like, we're all goofy and fun and it was just easy. So they asked us to play a bit with them. So we're going to play Fargo on 418 and then Ice House, the Minneapolis show, is 419. That'll be really fun. And then we're off to Wisconsin for a bit. We're going to play Madison and Sheboygan, and Green Bay. And then we're going to play The Empty Bottle on April 23rd in Chicago.
Sweet.
And it's just going to be really good to get out of town. And we're all kind of slowly practicing just new tunes and just dusting off some old ones. And getting some fun covers going.
Awesome. Looking forward to that the Ice House date. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to play.
Definitely. Cool. All right. Well, last question for you, just to end off on a good note. What are 3 things that you're loving right now in your life? Does not have to be music related.
Oh, man. I love lava lamps, and I'm really stoked that there's a lava lamp here. I love my cat, Gary.
That's a great name.
He's a big old chunk. I love him even though he asked me for food at 5 a.m. And I mean, I just love having a community and having friendship with my bandmates and, you know, just having an easy experience, just being free and open and just having like that love and support around.
Totally. I love it. Those are 3 great answers. Thank you so much. Monica LaPlante, everyone. Thank you for coming in
Thank you
today.
for having us.
Really appreciate it. I send it back to the booth now for some more local music until 5. Please stick around for that because it's going to be great. You're listening to Radio K, Real College Radio.